Communalism. So Curzon partitioned Bengal for the weakening of nationalism, but instead of weakening nationalism, partition of Bengal strengthened nationalism. Now when nationalism was strengthened, it was not possible for the government to attack nationalism. So it became the necessity for the government to weaken nationalism and then attack. So government came out with the policy I called you divide and rule. And in divide and rule they had two targets. First target, Indian National Congress, which led to the Surat split of 1907. And second target was society, which led to the birth of Muslim League in 1906. But the birth of Muslim League was related to a development of a new phenomena in India called as communalism. We'll discuss three things, three headings under it. Definition of communalism, reasons for its birth, promotion and continuation. Birth, promotion, continuation. And third, evolution in Indian history. Third heading is not given as it is because this topic for me is very important, because the biggest threat for India today is, one of the biggest threat for India today is communalism. Delhi riots, Bangalore riots, Bengal, etc., etc., creation of Pakistan, Bangladesh. So this video of mine is not only for UPSC aspirants. This video of mine is for India, Pakistan, Bangladesh and the entire Indian subcontinent. If you feel anything which is not right, which is wrong, which is not presented in a proper way, all your proposals are welcome. But then I will narrate the entire story. Communalism. First heading, definition. Definition. What is communalism? Definition. Now, ism means philosophy followed by the masses. Followed by the masses. This is the meaning of ism. Philosophy followed by the masses. So in this perspective, nationalism, rationalism, radicalism, communism, communalism, they all are modern philosophies. Ism means philosophy followed by the masses. Nationalism, rationalism, radicalism, communism, Russian communism, Samyavad, and communalism, Sampradayavad. They all are modern philosophies, modern. Ism. Now, communalism has nothing to do with religion. neither it is inspired by religion. Wonderful lines given in NCERT. Communalism has nothing to do with religion. Neither it is inspired by religion. I'll write the entire lines because very important. Communalism has nothing to do with religion. Neither it is inspired by religion. Then what it is? It's a political trade. I was so much impressed by this term given in NCERT. It's a political trade. Rajnitik Vyapar. This one is given in NCERT. You read it. I will tell you the page number. But you read, you will find this term political trade. Communalism has nothing to do with religion. Neither it is inspired by religion. It's a political trade. When religious consciousness, which consciousness? Religious consciousness is turned into communal consciousness. Religious consciousness is turned into communal consciousness for political benefits. Wonderful billion-dollar definition in NCERT. Religious consciousness is turned into communal consciousness. Who turns? Politicians, leaders. It's a political trade. When religious consciousness is turned into communal consciousness for political benefits. Now, if you see present India, because most of you are not aware about history, the most neglected subject in India. And as most of you get knowledge from WhatsApp University and Facebook University, Instagram University, Telegram University, so you develop that point of view in your mind. Now, communalism says there are 3 stages of communalism. You will develop a better understanding by it. Communalism says the interest of a person depends on his religion, which is completely a pseudo concept. Communalism says that the interest of a person depends upon his religion, which is completely a pseudo concept. How? I'll give you an example. Banarsi saris. Handicraftsmen of this Banarsi saris, mainly Muslims. Traders of this Banarsi saris, mainly Hindus. The handicraft is the art, trading is the art. You go to Mau, Ajamgarh, Banaras, you'll find Muslims are mainly the weavers. And Marwadis are mainly the traders. Now this economic interest is attached. Economic interest of both the communities attached, and economic interest of both the community has created social harmony. Liberalization took place in India in 1991. Liberalization took place. Sari. The tradition of sari came down. Ladies came to salwar suit, from salwar suit to jeans and t-shirt. Now when sari market came down, they lost their profession. They are traders. When sari tradition came down, they got a setback. They are traders. If they can sell sari, they can sell jeans, t-shirt also. So after liberalization, their existence was maintained, but their existence was in trouble. Now, in the absence of economic attachment, how can you promote social attachment? You got the point? In the absence of economic attachment, you see in your family, your father said, I will not give a single penny, get out from here. Or when you were born, your father left you out. He kept you in an ashram, sending 1,000 rupees per month. When you grew up, you knew that this man is your father. Will you develop the love for your father? The love develops between the children and the parents because of the sacrifices which children see while they are growing up in the family. During Ramlila and Ramayana, my father used to take me on his shoulders. I used to be ill. He used to wake up throughout the night. These are the binding forces. My father did not bought a shoes for him, but he bought a bike for me. Attachment. For every attachment, there will be a solid reason. And economy is the most motivating factor. I said economy is not the only factor. Economy is the most motivating factor. See, earlier, economic interest of both the groups had led to social harmony. Now what communalism says? Your interest depends upon your religion. It's a pseudo concept. A Muslim's interest will be on a Muslim. A Hindu's interest will be on a Hindu. How is it possible? This is the first phase of communalism. When communalism says that the interest of a person depends upon his religion. Second stage, of communalism is that there can be no common bond of interest. Economic, political, social, between the people of two different religions. This phase is dangerous. When this phase starts, there can be no common bond of it. There can be no common. First phase says the interest of a person depends upon religion. Second phase says there can be no common bond of interest between the people of two religions. Possibility is over. So when possibility of interest is over, why do you live together? And the third stage, it becomes hostile towards one another. They start fighting. These are the three phases of communalism. So what is the communalism? It's an ideology. modern ideology. It has no remnant in the past. It has no remnant in the past. Akbar, Rana Pratap. Who was the artilleryman of Rana Pratap? Hakim Khan Sur. But the communist ideology portrays him as a Hindu leader. Akbar. Third Battle of Panipat. Who was the artilleryman of Marathas? Ibrahim Khan Gardi. Battle of Khanwa. Babur on one side, Rana Pratap, Rana Sanga was supported by Hasan Khan Mewati. I am writing it so that you can check. Hasan Khan Mewati, Mahmud Lodi, etc. Communalism is not a remnant of the past. It's a ideology and modern ideology. It's an ideology and modern ideology. Religion has nothing to do with communalism. Religion has nothing to do with communalism. Neither communalism is inspired by religion. Then what is communalism? It's a political trade which turns religious consciousness into communal consciousness for political benefits. It has 3 stages. First stage, it says that the interest of a person depends upon his religion. Second stage, it says that there can be no common bond. There can be no common bond between the people of two religions regarding polity, economy and society. Third stage, it becomes hostile. Because when there can be no common bond and you are opposing my interest, I am opposing your interest, so you start fighting and this will lead to separation. This is the definition of communalism. Reasons. So first heading we discussed what is communalism. Second heading, reasons for the birth of communalism, for the promotion of communalism and continuation of communalism. Now, you see, women was suppressed in India for 2000 years. Dalits were suppressed in India for 2000 years. Both of them were suppressed. Women and Dalit, both of them were suppressed. Many social reformers came and went, and the story continued. Buddha, Mahavira, Kabir, Dadu, Nanak, Radas, etc., etc. But whenever we want to eradicate a trouble, we have to go into the roots of the trouble. Whenever we have to eradicate a trouble, we have to go into the roots of the trouble and we have to eliminate the root. Once the root is cut, there will be no tree. Simple. Now, from which period the suppression of these two starts? Later Vedic period. How? End of educational rights. Without education, You will never be a skilled labor. Now you are clear that this is the root cause of their suffering. Now when it became clear that this is the root cause of their suffering, so independent India opened the path of education for both of them. And today, they are the mainstream of the society. Similarly, there is no trouble in this world for which you cannot have a solution. The only point is, you should go into the root of the trouble. How it started, what were the reasons. When you know the reasons, today you see, I see many of my Muslim friends, especially the upper middle class Muslims. They also don't know. They have to sit with the upper middle class Hindus. Now upper middle class Hindus, they openly oppose. Majority upper middle class Hindus were talking against Ram temple, or were saying ki, okay fine, we should agree, etc., etc. But what is the stand of upper middle class Hindu in India? It is rare in upper middle class Muslim. Maybe they are afraid. Maybe they are pseudo in nature. Maybe, I don't know what is the reality. They can be afraid also. Now, Bengaluru incident took place. No upper middle class Muslims stood up. I tell you, I'll explain you here what is the role of upper middle class in a society. And how the upper middle class of Muslims, dormancy, is becoming harmful for them. And these upper middle class Muslims, when they sit with upper middle class Hindus and they see that something wrong has gone, then they say, "Yaar, bhai sahab, jahils are present in every community." This is not the solution. This is not the solution. And if I speak, they say, "Why you are speaking? You have become a Sanghi." Sir, I will speak everything which is wrong. I will speak against anything which is wrong. You call me Sanghi, Musangi, whatever you want to call, doesn't matter. I will not speak to appease anyone in the society. Thousands and lakhs of people are against me. Millions are in support also. There is no opposition of a dead body. You are alive. The more you are alive, the more you will be opposed. There is nothing to worry about. So, we have to go into the reasons. We have to go into the backgrounds. We have to see how this communalism got promotion, how this communalism got birth in India, and how it got promotion in India. First point. First point, role of the government. Very important. After 1970s, we have already discussed, national movement got momentum. National movement got momentum. Now, when national movement got momentum, British government has to counter national movement. So, British government has to promote. British government has to promote all divisive forces. Which forces? Divisive. Divisive forces. So government gave promotion to communalism. Government gave promotion to provincialism. Government gave promotion to casteism. That is why you will see 1885 Congress is born. And the moment this body of national movement got strength, 1906 Muslim League. (1920) Akali Dal. 1924 Depressed Class Association. See the connection. Actually, I said in the previous class, you don't do the homework, you don't connect, you don't add, you don't learn. To counter nationalism, the easiest weapon was communalism, provincialism, casteism. Other than this, what government did? Government accepted. Government accepted Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Christians as a separate community. Separate community. Hindu is a separate community, Muslim is a separate community, Christian is a separate community, Sikh is a separate community. So when they are separate community, they will have a separate interest. When they have a separate interest, they cannot live together. When they cannot live together, they will ask for their different reasons. How they will ask? They'll ask Pakistan, they'll ask Khalistan, they'll ask Saitan, they'll ask Hindustan. They not only accepted Hindu, Muslim, Sikh community as a separate community, they accepted communal, provincial and caste leaders. Communal, provincial and caste leaders as the representative of their community and caste. Dr. Ambedkar, leader of Dalit community. Jinnah, leader of Muslims. Now when government is accepting, who will oppose the government? Government, the running authority, the power in the nation. Not only this, they gave promotion to this communal, provincial and caste literature. Novel, poem, journals, etc. When government is involved in doing all these things, and why government is doing? Because government has to counter nationalism. Government, the sole authority, is giving promotion to communalism, provincialism, casteism. Government is accepting, yes, you are separate community. Government is giving acceptance to communal, provincial and caste leaders as the representatives of their caste and community. Government is giving promotion to the propaganda. the supreme authority. And why government is doing all this? Because government has to counter nationalism. First point. So if government has strengthened all these things today, it's a national government, it's an Indian government. So first thing, if we have to control communalism, provincialism, casteism, who is to be hyperactive? Government. If government has strengthened it, simple. If government has strengthened it to weaken nationalism, then government has to weaken it to strengthen nationalism. Simple. I'll tell you why government promoted, I told you why government promoted in 20th century. And what happened after independence? Congress gave political relaxment to minority community, relaxment. So that minorities should feel safe in this country. Minorities took it for granted. You know, we are Muslims. We will force the government to turn this relaxation into our right. That became the blunder. Because that political relaxment given by the government, independent India's government, turned into the policy of political appeasement by the later leaders. What is the need of the government to give iftar party? There is no need. You are running the government, and that too a government of a diversified nation. There is no need for the government to involve in all these activities. There is no need for a political party to get involved in all these activities. And if one government will give iftar party, if the other government gives Navratri party, then what is wrong? Then what is wrong? I'll come to Ram Temple also. I'll tell you the history of Ram Temple, importance of Ram, how Ram is the leader of Indians. Ram is the God of India, Pagambar of India, Indian subcontinent, and an ideal for entire world. His philosophies are universal. No one can say, like Muhammad, his philosophies are universal. Prophets, their philosophies are universal. Muhammad's philosophy, Jesus' philosophy, Ram's philosophy, it's universal. But Maulana's philosophy, priest philosophy, father's philosophy, they create the trouble. First reason, role of the government. Second reason, very important reason. Condition of Muslims and role of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Condition of Muslims and role of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Condition of Muslims, late emergence of modern political consciousness. It is said that there is a generation gap between Hindu and Muslims in accepting the modern ideology. Who's responsible? Hindus. You are backward because of your own reasons. Why you blame others? others. It's your duty to do self-introspection and find out why majority population of particular community is backward. So Syed Ahmad Khan, I have already explained. He was a visionary man. He knew that his community is backward. He was a visionary. He knew his community was backward, but he faced. So he emphasizes on modern education for Muslims. The story I told you. And that led to the birth of Anglo-Mohammedan Oriental College, which finally turned into AMU. But his vision, no doubt he was a visionary, but his vision became limited. Only for Muslims. Only for Muslims. Reason I have again told you that he was under the pressure by the government and communal forces. He was threatened. There was an attempt on his life. Possibly he got afraid. And then he started. After 1880s, you will see. After 1880s, you will see. He becomes conservative in politics. He knew that his ambition, his vision to uplift the Muslim community can be done through modern education. In that objective, he can be helped only by the government. So he has to take the support of the government. And if he has to take the support of the government is supporting the communal forces, he has to support the communal forces. And then in 1887, he creates United Patriotic Association with Raja Shiv Prasad of Banaras. He is also a landlord, Hindu, a landlord, supporter of the British government. And the only objective of United Patriotic Association was to oppose Congress. And a position of Congress after 1885 meant a position of national movement. He started appealing to the Muslims. You don't go against the government. Don't join the national politics. Don't listen to the Muslim leaders like Badruddin Tayyibji. Your emancipation is only in the hand of government. Because in case British government leaves, Hindus will become the dominant force and then your identity will be in trouble. And this was an unscientific view. Unscientific approach of a learned personality. Unscientific approach of a learned personality. But the point arises, why Sayyid Saab did not dare? Why Allama Iqbal did not dare? Why Muslims became the victim? I'm going to give you a very important graph. Just pay attention. Indians, pay attention. Hindus and Muslims, get out from the class. You're not required. You're not needed. You just go out. You just get out from here. All those who cannot bother about the country, all those who cannot bother about the humanity, they are not needed. Get out. You don't understand. Why Sayyid did not dare? Why Muslims became the victim? Very important graph. Possibly you would have never thought. Possibly. And if you think that this graph is of $100 billion, I never talk in rupees, dollars. I'll tell you why. Muslim, Hindus, landlords, zamindars, educated middle class, masses, landlords, zamindars, educated middle class, masses. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. A plus B. A plus B of both the community. A plus B of both the community was the supporter of the British government. This you accept? A plus B means landlord and zamindars of both the community were the supporters of the government. Is this clear? C, educated middle class. In Hindus, majority of them were reformers. Nationalists. In Muslims, majority of them were either aloof or they became hostile. And they are the guiding force for the masses. The question has been asked in mains examination. The middle class of Hindus and Muslims are responsible for the birth of India and Pakistan. Comment. This question was in mains. This is the answer. Why this has happened? Both got the same education, both got the same approach, both got the same knowledge, but why? Reason? Hindu middle class, educated middle class, apart from government jobs, was involved in trade, was involved in industry. Muslim educated middle class had only one option: government jobs. That too limited because of the underdevelopment of economy, polity. So if Muslim educated middle class has to get this government job, he has to be on the side of government. If they are already in the side of the government, and if they will be in the side of the government, they will go to the masses not with the support of the government, with the support of communalism. This was not the case. Today also you see. Hope you would have understood. Very simple. That is why I think Muslim masses mostly are innocent, ignorant. That ignorance and innocency has created what you call jahilpan. That community is in Hindus also. I don't say that the community is not there. But I can tell you 10 Hindu leaders who speak openly for secularism in India. But rarity of rare, I find a Muslim leader who speaks openly for secularism. Silent, dumb silent. find Muslims attracted towards nationalism. Bombay. Bombay is the exception. In Bombay, if you see Badruddin Tayyab ji, A. Bhim ji, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, R.M. Saini, they all were nationalist leaders. Because in Bombay province, Muslims turned towards trade and industry. So government job was not a big attraction. So government job was not a big attraction. And without leadership, Muslim masses, Hindu masses, they got the leadership. They became the carrier of nationalism in the Hindu masses. They became, exceptions were there, no doubt. Abdul Rasool, Maulana Azad, but who was listening to these exceptions? Today you see, who was listening to the exceptions? This diagram is a $1 billion diagram. I said a question was asked on this diagram. Now diagram is not present. Words are present in this NCERT. Diagram is not present. This is called creativity of mind, which comes only through meditation. You heard Prahlad Singh? What he says? Why I called him? I would have called any topper. Many of them came to meet me by God's grace. One of them came at 5:30 early in the morning. He was in his native place. He returned back to Delhi 5:30. But I took out Prahlad Singh. He is not only a symbol of success, he is also a symbol of transformation, which can be an ideal for all those people who are still suffering. Meditation, yoga, pranayam, namaz, dhyan, worship in a proper way. Change yourself. Don't worry. Don't be sad. If Buddha from a materialistic can become a spiritual guru and God, why can't you and me? Buddha, surrounded by women, wine, luxury. Buddha. But then these priests will say to each other, they were God, God can do anything. We are also the part of that Almighty. We are also His creation. We are also the part of Him. Why can't we do that? Develop yourself, change yourself, and do the revolution. So first reason, role of the government. Second reason, condition of Muslim masses and role of Sir Syed Ahmad.